a scam, so everyone is concerned about that because they buy something, they say I lost my money. There are a lot of cryptos that launch during the moment, they go high, they go down. So there are a lot of projects. So when I do like research, I have a technical background, so most of the times I just check everything related to the code. But for most people, it's impossible. For example, if you think about Squid Game, I think it's quite popular. So they made a crypto token for Squid Game, and already in the code of this token, it was already a scam because you were not able to sell out this token. So they made money and they just ran out, and they just made millions. So, and a lot of people get scammed. So most of the time, I think the last one was the Will Smith Hino, another scam coin. They scammed. So I think you can lose the money for different reasons for sure. I think the first is the project is discontinued. Most of the time, it's just like the team is not working anymore. Maybe the developers think that's not a good idea to continue, or they are not able to put together everything. So I think that's the most point for most people. That's like Ponzi schemes. It's like when you enter in this kind of project that promise you like interest on yearly rate, etc. But you have to bring someone inside to buy again the token. So there are a lot of stuff around, but in the end it's like Ponzi. And I think that's exactly what is the point for me and for people that work like with the code and the technology part. Is this a real use case? Because if I have to invest in a project like buying some tokens, I mean, there is a real use case, so you're gonna use for real that. I think that's funny because Elon Musk recently announced that you're gonna use Dogecoin for real, so like for transaction. But it's still funny. But the point is that, so the value in the end, it depends about that, if there is a real use case. So we just go next. I think we are approaching the end. Okay, that's just some tools to give to you if you even approach some projects. So there are some tools that you can use. For example, this one, you can just put the contract code. It's like the contract address that you have. Let's say you know a new project, like I want to know if I can sell it, the token I bought. Same for BCC check. And there are some more, I mean, you need the community because some projects, they are very sophisticated. So that's, I think, why we can build something with the community to check some projects. I think that we're gonna do. Because there are some projects that are too sophisticated. And so you can understand exactly if they're gonna scam you or it's for sure good or not. So let's move forward. Okay, I think that's a kind of topic that we can use for networking. So when I just landed in Berlin, I was like thinking why they don't accept mostly credit cards. I had some troubles to getting some accepting some credit cards, and the reason are different, like I think related to decentralization. So you have to go to the bank, you have fees, or maybe you are not exactly convenient with the fees, or you don't want to show all the transactions. But in general, what I think about payments right now, for sure they are centralized. So when you have to pay for stuff, you have to use online or offline. You have to use your credit card. So it's almost impossible. You can use cash, but in the end, it's always the bank, right? So I think there are a couple of points that I find interesting here. The fact they have your data, so they know where you shop, they know everything about you, your inflows, where you work, your friends, everything. So they have your data right now, so there is no real way, even if they give you like contracts, or they say this is two-factor authentication or stuff like that, but in the end they have your data. So if they want to make research, they can do the back. And so a funny fact is like they authorize you. Sometimes probably happen that you have a problem with the PIN code. For example, happening to me, I was here in a local bank. They started to ask me for a lot of papers because I just forgot the PIN code. So it was like a mess. It's like you feel like you are not the owner anymore of your money. So they have to authorize you to make the signature, so it's crazy. And you are on the conditions. I think a lot of times have to do that you go to an ATM to get your money, to withdraw your money, and then you get high fees, or you can do anything with the currency exchange, for example, when you travel. You're always at the day conditions, so you can do anything else. So I think that's the point that we can talk about and to do networking. I think next is the last one. Okay, so in general, I just give a space for question if you want to give question to me, or you can networking with others here. And then I think that I was doing when I did meetups. It was like introduction, like your name. You can feel free to want to say where you work or not. But the good thing to say, it's always what you're looking for. Just be broader or not. I think this could be very helpful for others, and then we can just network. So if right now you have questions, I can ask for something, and then we can just do some introductions on the sequence and we network. So don't be afraid to ask, even if it's just a question about the meetup or just the space, I think.
Yeah, actually, I would like to know, so you said that you're more on the technical side. Can you give us give you an idea of like what it is that you actually...
Yeah, what do you do?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a software developer,
Okay.
so even before blockchain in general, more than 10 years working with web, with technology server side. Front end, I for sure approached the blockchain, but it's all code, so I can read the code and understand. That's what I mean.
But do you work for a blockchain company? Or?
No, so I work for my own company that's related to e-commerce, but we did a kind of related project with the blockchain. So that's what you're doing at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm into that, so that's I think a good thing.
Were you at the conference yesterday? The e-commerce conference?
Yeah, I went. I talked with some of them. I talked with guys from Berlin. They are working with point of sale software, like they have the hardware, everything. And so right now, for sure, they want to get more small businesses. And the problem with small business, they have good contracts with the banks, so they have high fees, and they're asking for cryptocurrencies to be implemented there. So already. So that's interesting, I think.
So the small businesses are speaking to the bank saying,
So
can
they
you allow us to accept crypto? Or did I get that wrong?
there is already a way to accept crypto, and so for taxes purpose, so you can do.
Well, these guys are offering a point of
Not
sale.
yet.
Yeah.
I mean, they offer point of sale, but the next thing for them is to implement crypto
Crypto point of
payments.
sale. Yeah.
Because a lot of small businesses, they are afraid to talk to the bank and do advanced stuff. Also, it's.
But there is a demand for that in terms of the small businesses. But like, they are asking, can we?
They are already asking. But I think here Berlin is quite interesting because if you take a look to the Bitcoin map, where they accept Bitcoins, there are already some of them trying to accept Bitcoins, yes. Like for ice cream, if you want to pay.
Where is that
Bitcoin.
map?
I think here to find around, I don't remember exactly the year, but if
Bitcoin
you
map
find
Berlin or
Bitcoin
something?
map,
Uh-huh.
it's a worldwide map where
Really?
local
That's cool.
shops accept Bitcoins. And so in Berlin, there are already some of them also accept Bitcoins. And this was my experience. I went in a pub and they were accepting cryptocurrency. They were just saying, we accept cryptocurrency as a form of, it's like when you revenge against the bank. It was.
Yeah.
You should tell
How
me.
do you do with taxes? If you get paid in crypto, like how?
Well, I don't have an answer from a tax perspective, but I talked to my tax accountant, and he said that's possible, absolutely, because it's kind of wallet, and so you have transactions, so you can just, it's kind of currency, it's
Okay,
like
so
you
it's
have
the
the conversion.
same. You just
say this is the respective in euros, and
Yeah.
that's it. So, but it's a quite new thing. I think that's interesting part. Yeah. So here, to just give an example, in Germany, I think I'm not sure if it's still in draft or they already need to give the opportunity to companies to deposit share capital, like when you open the company, to deposit some money, you can deposit them in Bitcoin. So they're already giving this. I was reading this on the news, and that's I think interesting, because if you want to open a new company, you need some money at the beginning, and so maybe deposit them in cryptocurrency could be interesting for most people that just want to do something in the real life. So that's a big point here. Yeah. Okay.
Cool.
Who's next?
So any more questions, or we can just go straight to the intros?
Sure.
Okay. Okay, so for the intros we just go this way. So let's start. Just say your name and tell what you're looking for.
Okay. Hi everyone again. My name is Mary. I'm from Ukraine, and I was doing life coaching and psychology before. And I'm an artist. I'm interested in NFT.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's interesting opportunity, and that's it. I
Okay,
just came
sounds
to see
Yeah.
it. Actually, this is my first meetup about crypto.
Sounds good.
Okay, hi everyone,
Hi.
late meet. I'm Dennis, I come from Fuel. We are a small Web3 startup in Berlin. We built the Shopify for NFTs, so basically a no-code platform where creators can build their own NFT shop.
Okay.
And yeah, just without any tech knowledge required, so yes.
Cool. Sounds good.
Hello, I'm Kelly. First of all, sorry for being late. I missed
That's
the whole
fine.
presentation. So I'm French. I'm on holidays for a few days in Berlin, and I'm a crypto enthusiast. I worked for 2 years in the humanitarian in an information management NGO, doing mostly mapping and working with both softwares. And I left my job 1 month ago because I took like courses of crypto, like Unit Masters and Shify, because I want to switch industry and do business development. And that's it.
Yeah. It's
Happy to be here.
sounds good.
Hey everybody, I'm Jim. I work in music, in digital marketing and management and things like this. I used to work in Web3 about 4 years ago, so I came to Berlin for a Web3 like music streaming startup. And now I'm the co-founder of a new culture app that essentially connects you with things you want to do in your local area. Things are ticketed. We're going to incorporate crypto to get rid of transaction fees within that system essentially. So
Did you work for SoundCloud?
I didn't work for SoundCloud, no.
Okay.
But I know some people at SoundCloud. But yeah, the app's built. We're going to be taking it down soon because we're changing where the business is based. But it's called Dash Social at the moment. I think if you've got a European app store, you can download it. Yeah.
Hi everyone, my name is Sebastian. I'm from Canada, but I live in half my time here in Europe and half the time in America. I have a company called ZenPay, which is a Web2 checkout. And 2 years ago, we spin it completely into a crypto project, which is now called Checkout DAO, where basically similar to Shopify, is like instead of a Shopify checkout or any checkout for that matter, you can use our checkout, just plug in your front store, and then whatever kickbacks we get from any transactional leverage, we issue back to the merchant in the form of equity, and then yeah, it's kind of like a different model.
Okay.
We launched it yesterday, so
Yeah. Congrats.
thank you. Yeah, we have 100 mil in GMV, so we processed quite a bit of transactions, and yeah, I guess in terms of what I'm looking for, just to connect people, spread the word, make friends, and yeah, bring the crypto flag to 1 billion users. Yeah.
Why not?
What?
Why not? Right.
Well, if we don't get to 1 billion in the next 2 years, it's kind of screwed, in my opinion. So this kind of like, I think, what we are all together
In the next 2 years.
2 to 3 years. Yeah, I think it needs to ramp up like the internet did. So you look at the adoption curves of new technologies, and they have like this death moment where like either they stick or they crash. It's just like network theory, and so the internet was nothing until there was 1 billion users on it. That's why Facebook was able to be Facebook. Not because it was a great company, it's just because there was already 1 billion users on it. And so I think that overall the race in crypto for no matter what you're doing is to bring in 1 billion users. And then the party really starts. So I think e-commerce is a great way of introducing a bunch of users into the space, and
I mean, currently we're faster than the internet, right?
there you go. There you go. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's
Yeah, let's continue the discussion. Right? So it's your.
I'm Ludolf. I'm a startup founder. I'm gonna make this personal. I started a fintech 4 years ago, and I was fighting in the trenches. And earlier this year, I recognized this is bullshit. What you think or what you hear about banks, it's true, right? They just fuck with you. And, I don't know if you've seen this movie, The Big Short. It's true.
Yes.
It's like, this is really true what they're doing. They're evil companies and trying to take money into their own pocket, screwing customers, screwing taxpayers. And I felt like I've had enough, right? So I digged into crypto about 8 weeks ago, and I feel really enlightened because I worked in technology. So I worked in back-end, I worked in content delivery, which is like, where it's basically internet protocols, right? Different acceleration speeds and technologies. I worked there already in 2007. So back then we were really, all the big content players were coming to us in Korea and asking, what can you do to push content faster? Number one. Number two, I've worked as a CEO in a forex startup where we're trading currencies, and I know what does not work, right? And then I see crypto and I'm thinking, you make click, and it's there in Korea, right? So and then I looked into technology, and I looked a bit about how do these smart contracts work, and I'm thinking, it is so simple, right? So I feel really like, okay, I'm building something now. So to make a long story short, I'm working on a game financing DAO, company DAO, whatever it will be, an organization where we will try to provide financing schemes based on games or game trends that are going on in games, right? Either we are financing for gamers, or we're allowing gamers to sell off their items into crypto. Because now I know what banks do, and I'm thinking, okay, this is how you can do it, so you can actually make money with it.
So that's all part of their copyright or whatever, and
Sorry?
that's all part of their copyright to anybody, and then get some funding for it essentially.
I couldn't understand the question.
That's all part of part of the ownership of the game, whatever game they're building, and your system, people will be able to be part of that system and buy.
Well, I think now the trend is that people are playing the games because they think, okay, I just hit the monster and I get stuff that I can sell as an item, as an NFT, or you actually get crypto by hitting the monster. You know, you get tiny fractions of any sort of cryptocurrency, right? But I think ultimately the point will be people leaving games. That's usually what happens in the gaming industry, right? So, and you have to either keep people in the game, but then still these games are creating much more money that they can handle. So you need to allow them to finance that or to sell that currency. Right? So the gaming, so the whole metaverse is basically, it's already there, right? So I've played AAA games World of Warcraft, if anybody knows, where you go in and you play for like 12 hours straight and you don't know what happened, right? So in there, these worlds are already seamless, right? They're already the metaverse. So metaverse games, Bored Ape Club, and so it's fun, okay, yeah. But from a game industry perspective, it's nothing new, right? It's nothing new. So, and the game companies, they already know the economics, like how do you control the currency, how do you know the drop rate, so you know every 100th time you kill them once you get their weapon, not every time, right? That kind of stuff. So I'm seeing it and I want to put that together, set up gaming, internet protocols, and financing, right? So that's where what I'm looking for is network and people to join our team, just in whatever form.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you're still in your honeymoon of like 8 weeks.
Yeah, I can say that.
It's great. It's like, oh, that's so beautiful. I'm from Italy, and I have like background in I have a degree in engineering, like electronic engineering, and then I started working as a data scientist, like so computer vision and AI, and 2 years ago I moved to Berlin, and now I'm working as also a data scientist for natural language processing at Adeco.
Okay.
And then into crypto, I first got in touch with it like 2017. Only invested like some in Ethereum, but I was not like conscious about it like that much. So it was just to try something. I only got really into it like a couple of years ago, and I'm getting more into it. Like I even like wrote like kind of an article, basically like mapping out the crypto space. I found like great analogies with the evolution of AI, and also how actually our mind is about. Like our mind is can be explained in 4 systems, and you know that in crypto you have like layer 1 blockchains, layer 2s, and there is actually other 2 layers like layer 0 and layer 3, which actually like resembles a lot like our mind, but maybe you can speak about this later.
It's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks. I think in general, the goal of the meetup is to just bring people together. So I just refrain from topics that are too much detailed because it requires some preparation and not everyone get it. So what we're gonna do is like talking on general perspective and prioritize more networking and more trying, for example, to give space to some projects. For example, if you have something and you want to present it at some point, that could work. So that's what we can do here. I think that's the point of the meetup. So for sure we're not gonna give you investment advice.
I will, but if you
That's the typical statement for
TLDR.
So you should go invest, but we are not giving investment advice. I think that's a quite serious topic because I saw a lot of YouTubers every time saying that if you invest in this crypto, you get rich, and so in the end they say no, but it's not an investment advice. So what is that? What is that? It's just advertising. So I don't know. There are a lot of stuff around. So I saw there are others meetups in the blockchain, but I think they are too much technical sometimes, or they just address some topics that require some knowledge already. So I think that's not exactly what I want to do with this meetup because I think.
What's your perception of the German crypto industry or so? Because you've probably seen a lot of startups. Like, my impression is it's almost a little bit conservative compared to what's going on outside Germany.
Well, in general, I think Germany is for sure a conservative country, but I saw a lot of good guys trying to do something here, and so we are still doing something here. But the problem is like, we are like pioneers of that because it's not easy to reach real people in the real world. Always people involved on that, they had some technical background, or they had some, some connection with already fintech or technology ready to that. So it's like what we are saying here. So I think the real challenge for Germany at some point, but for other countries too, is to try to make more something for the masses, for people. So to try to answer your question, I think the good year is after, if not wrong, after 2 years that you keep your crypto and cash out, you don't have taxes. That's what I know.
Yeah.
So that's probably
That's a good thing.
that's probably solving everything.
Right. You save taxes in crypto, okay.
It's great if you don't do any DeFi, I guess. Right?
Yeah, but just incentivizes you to hold a crypto, which you should be doing anyway.
Yeah.
Especially now for more than 2 years, so it's a good idea.
Yeah, sure. No, it's better than nothing, for sure.
I think it might be a means for them to be like, we make everybody hold their crypto until they work out what the fuck to do,
I think right now banks are a bit scared of that. I don't know if you have heard, for example, in Italy, some large banks, they just blocked the deposits to Coinbase because people, they're just used to the deposit of their salary to Coinbase partially or not. as they start blocking it. I think
Not
here,
only Coinbase, actually, they do like
yeah,
even Revolut,
Mine
or
also-
Binance.
My
everything.
Postbank also blocked my.
But there are some.
I mean,
that's
if you
no
do
problem.
the deposit and it's large, your bank gonna call you. That's for sure.
How would you?
So up in
These are quite the conservative banks, you know. Like if
Yeah.
you also have examples that do like allow that. We have a partner bank, for example, Solaris Bank, which is like quite the
Yeah.
go-to option for the tech startups, also for Trade Republic and like
Yeah.
the newer era of financial applications, and they have no problems with that at all.
Yeah, but
Like,
Solaris is not a consumer bank. You cannot open a bank account with Solaris, can you?
Yeah,
No,
that's
it's just a
It's just
kind of
it's a front
technology
bank. It's a
for
fronting bank.
yeah. But if you go, for example, to I don't know, to
But even then, you can go with, for example, Penta, who uses Solaris Bank,
Mm.
and they can't do it. So
Mm.
they just have a front layer in front of it, and then
Yeah.
you can just go with Solaris Bank in the back.
Yeah, but again, it's not convenient for the average person. Right? So that's what
It
I
is-
said. The
it
banks
is
are just
actually-
like evil. Yeah.
It's like just as easy to open a Penta account as it is with any other bank. Like it's,
Yeah,
just,
that's-
it's just the same. It's just a different background.
Yeah, that's true,
settings,
but-
so it's just an example. There are others as well.
yeah, it's like N26. But I think in general the problem with that kind of fintech, they for sure have to use API from other institutions. Or in this case, for example, Solaris Bank. I think that was my experience, my personal experience. I think sometimes they have a problem with synchronization of all the stuff when you're starting to have more transactions or you have some needs. For example, the customer support is not always available. So I think that's not the future, in my opinion, for the fintech. So if you want to create something on the fintech right now, there are a lot of good blockchain, and so you can go and build there. So that's, I think, no point to use a traditional bank, even if they're giving you API or open system. But you can build your fintech product easily over the blockchain. I think the only problem that you have is, it's with the taxation probably, all the stuff that gets carried people, like KYC. But I think there is no reason today to build a fintech product over API of a bank, a traditional bank. I think that's probably the future.
I mean, on like a consumer level, as soon as you can do point of sale, just like with, as soon as you can pay with crypto out of store with a card, it's done. Like you don't need banks.
Does that exist out somewhere?
Not that I know of. You were speaking about somebody potentially, but
I mean, not in Germany, but does it exist anywhere?
I don't know. But as soon as you do that, surely as soon as that, then you don't need banks. It's just like you can move the money around between.
For
each other,
example,
you know, just like this.
For example, there is the company Contist with a Q. It's a UK-based company. They are providing the credit cards to Binance. So when you open your
Is that the
Binance,
Binance card? Is that?
it's Contist.
Yeah.
Because with the Binance card, you can withdraw money from any cash. I withdraw
But
money.
does that still go through a normal bank though? Somehow, like, because if say if you're like, can
If
you
they
pay with
know-
that? Like,
Mm,
Could I-
I paid with the Binance card. In France, you can pay in any shop that accepts Visa.
mm,
So it goes through Visa. So
Yeah,
it
they
must
have-
go through Visa network.
They have a license in France, I think. I just read it.
Yeah, but even in Madagascar and in Tajikistan, I withdraw with
Mm.
the
Of
Binance.
course, in Germany, actually, you can use. I also use the Binance card for.
Yeah, you
Where did you get? But where did you get the Binance card?
Like you
You
just
order
order it and it comes here.
From Binance, right?
Yeah.
Not in Germany. From.
But that must use the Visa
No.
network then.
You are concerned if they
Right, so
can
it's
check
not really-
your account like
But
that.
it's not
I know
really
that
normal.
You
It's
can
kind of
top
part
up
of the-
after
Yeah, so it's
2,000
like a bridge.
500
Yeah,
But
It's
you
not
can
really
still
normal.
you can still pay
there
like,
to
you have
communicate
all
to
your
the central
money as crypto.
bank, kind
You
of
can still
central
like pay the
registry.
traditional system,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
so
yeah.
you're
Transactions.
just like as you
But
said, right,
under
it's
this,
just a bridge, but
amount-
still
But the
you can like.
And you have
They don't
a
know.
cashback
So it's
system,
like
which is
not
very
counting
interesting.
like
every
real
time you pay,
account.
they give you like 2%
I think the
cashback.
interesting
I
part
mean,
with the
that's
Binance
just
card
like
is you're
very
using
basic,
crypto to cash
I
out.
mean, they want to
And
onboard
it's
you, they have
immediately, so you're not compared
the
to
budgets where you can, where they
It's
have
like
these
on the
very
fly, so
interesting
you can
rates,
top up like
but they're all
BNB,
like
BTC,
later
and keep
on
them
be
on
a
the
little
card.
bit more normalized.
Until you pay it,
But
they
like,
just
you know,
convert it
ultimately,
in
like
real
we,
time.
the
So that's
whole
quite
point is
interesting.
that
But
like we can have control.
there are anonymous
of our
cards,
money.
for example,
It's
for
not
Bitcoin,
control, like,
Ethereum,
the
that
bank
you can
can't
top
just
up
cut
them,
you off,
but
like,
you need
we
higher
control our money.
amounts, and you
We've
can get
got our
from
kind
offshore
of
banks.
financial system. We can
Mm.
work between
That's
each
another
other.
option, but it's in
You know,
general
like,
for crypto
You
billionaires.
know, it's screwed by centralized organizations, like, you know,
But
it has to
if
be
you
done
don't
for
have a
me.
big
Like, as soon as it's
portfolio,
purely crypto.
You can just
Yeah.
cash
Not
out after
between
2 years
partners,
here and get
so-
tax free, and that's it.
Yeah. I think
So
that
I think
exists.
that's
right?
fair.
I
Or you
think
can go to
understand.
Dubai. It depends about.
Yeah, but
what
then
you
for me to go to shopping now, if I wanted to buy it,
Mm.
so we went to the bar afterwards.
But
But this
I
is
think
it.
it's
I feel more
like a QR code where
free
you
Yeah,
just
yeah,
say,
yeah.
hey, this is our wallet, transfer there, and then they have like
I
a small
just use
place
them
saying,
like
hey, is the
on
transaction
my
there?
card or do
So
stuff
there could be
online.
workarounds
That could
there,
be like,
I feel
but
more
these are just not around.
freedom,
And you
like
could
for
even
small
use the
transactions
Binance
and
way because the
for cash,
wallets
but-
they give you cards like for
So the Binance card you just order
they
from
are all
Binance on the
centralized.
website? No matter which country you're in, they just give you.
You have
it
just the
depends
address.
because they do the KYC to you.
But I think,
Right? Yeah, but if you already have a Binance account.
like everything we're talking
If you have a
about
Binance
is
account,
like
it's
hard.
already
Yeah.
verified.
So,
That's
so
fine.
both you were working in
Yeah.
Shopify-ish
My
kind of
sister,
sphere.
she
And
came
so
from
are
Ukraine,
you
she has
using
Binance in
stablecoins?
Ukraine, and she came
Is
here
that
and
how
it's
it
blocked
works with the
because
payments
you need to
within the
make a
system?
new verification here.
So
If
for
you just
example,
change
for
the
us, we
location.
integrate like
Really?
three different
Yeah.
APIs. There's
I mean-
Solana,
I mean that's
and
a
merchant
that's a
chooses
point for
what
sure for
currency
them,
they
but
want
it's
to start with.
KYC.
Okay.
So we give
If
them
you
the
want to
option
get
that
a
they
kind
can
of
select all
credit
the
card
amounts,
that's
like USDC, or they can select
blocked, you have to pay
whatever,
more,
right?
but
At the end of the
again
day,
it's something for
it's gonna
people
be
that
a encrypted
a lot of
transaction in
money
MetaMask,
and they
it's
can
gonna be
buy
ordered via
those
years.
anonymous
Okay.
But
card.
we do suggest to use Solana.
The
because
KYC,
it's
that's
so
the
cheap.
thing that you experiment
Even
in
though
the
it's,
States.
people do not rely
It's
on
basically
it.
allowed
Crash buys,
for
okay, give them a break
anti-money
now.
laundering, so they have
This
to do
spike
that
attack is like
anyway.
Yeah,
So when you
yeah.
change your
Yeah,
residence,
first it's a little bit.
there is the risk you bring
different
some
story that
money
we-
or
Our
there are
product
different
actually
risks
came to be because we
with that, so
talked
they have to do
one
that
of
for
the
the law.
biggest brands that they are out there.
But
fashion
if
labels,
she has the
like
residence
beer
permit
brands,
here,
huge
it
record
should be
labels,
fine.
which
Because
also
she
invested
can
enough.
show
Like,
it. So
the,
say
one of the
I'm
biggest music
here.
labels
Yeah,
in Germany, for
So
example, or
I know
maybe
it's,
also see
it for me
investors
was
and
the
so on.
same because
So,
I was
Universal.
Yeah.
in Italy and
So we
already
have like very, very
account moving
reputable
here
investors there.
and
we
then you
built
do
like
the
a product where,
verifications. But in general, if you
Web2
keep
people
some
can easily
documents,
get into Web3 where you
it's
have
not
like
a big problem.
a whole shop that you can basically build with your own technology.
Yeah.
And then you can just pay
I
like
think
create a
that's
wallet just with your email
a good
address.
thing.
So that
And
you don't
then
have
if you have
this
Yeah,
this
yeah.
kind of
huge
MetaMask
burden.
trust
Yeah,
value,
exactly.
totally
Yeah, we
decentralized.
just like we build
So you can
everything
manage
inside
your
to
money.
make that happen.
Yeah,
Is this
like
like
get
together.
exactly. I would
Is
go
it
for
like
MetaMask.
Medusa?
Yeah,
So
if
do
you
you
want
mean
to
that?
take like,
Sorry, I thought
if you are
this is
just
like a
apparently
front
Binance
office
is kind of a
front
bank,
store
become
for
like more like a
like
bank now, like with
I
a
mean,
lot of
It's
regulations.
basically like
And some people that might be scared that
right
someone
now
would like
you only
provide
have
information
markets,
like to
right,
other to
overseas or,
different banks
so
about
and
like
so on.
your holding in crypto.
And these
And that
brands,
can become
why they
like,
hesitate to join NFTs, not because they
against
want to
you.
be
So some people are like go like
It's
like
more
a way
like,
to decentralize
they are scared to put their valuable brand that they have
with
built for
MetaMask
years
and,
on the
other
marketplace,
wallets.
basically on an Amazon shelf, right?
Yeah, I think
So
I have like personally
If
I
you
have
think
like
back,
half
what was
and
the
half.
last item that you
like
bought to
this.
Amazon, you probably never
Well, what I
remember
can
the
say
brand.
with my experience,
You just
because
bought it because
I
of,
used to
like,
talk
good
with some
price element.
exchanges, so
Yeah.
they
And
are
it's-
becoming
maybe you
more
also bought it
official
in
banks.
bulk.
So
Like,
they offer, for
I
example,
don't know, some
loans.
people buy toilet paper on
You
Amazon
can
in
just
bulk or
put
whatever.
your crypto and then you
It
get the
doesn't matter,
loan.
but you don't remember the
Instantly.
brand at all. And that's just
And so that's
not
another big
interesting to
point
music
that's
brand
closer
at
to
all.
the banking
You have big
system.
artists as
But
well.
I don't
and,
understand
art scene also.
if you have
You
Unis
just
or-
don't want to have that
or pancakes or
your brand
you
just
don't
like
need
right
that,
next to
right?
so many
You
other
don't need a
products,
centralized
but it's just
store.
one price.
Well, but if you have
Yeah,
to cash
well,
out,
basically store, easy wallet
No, but
creation,
Uniswap is
address,
not is
then
not a
you can just
wallet.
pay
Like
with
Uniswap
credit
is
cards.
Yeah, but I mean, if you want to send money,
Yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
very easy. Make any sort of transaction,
So
either
even
an
if you
issuer
have
of a
never heard
token,
of
you can
or
do
if you
it.
want to trade the
and have
token, you
nothing
just go
set
to
up,
Yeah,
liquidity
yeah.
you're
pool.
good to go and like
You go to Uniswap or PancakeSwap and you trade.
Yeah, you can. I mean,
you can even make your own liquidity.
Yeah, you can do. The problem is they
People
cash
who
out
went to
in,
then essentially
in
go
euros.
there.
If you
And
want
so
the
they can
money in
purchase,
your hands,
they can purchase
Yeah, okay.
NFTs with
Yeah.
so
their
that's the
credit
only
Yes.
thing.
yes.
on that.
Can't buy
Basically,
money, but in
reduce
general you
the
can move
barrier
the
of
money.
entry
Like
to zero.
if I want to
Yeah,
send
cool.
you some money,
Yeah, this is
like
actually what I was
BNB or
thinking
BTC,
for a while.
send it.
Mm.
It works with the centralized like
what's
MetaMask
it called?
just wallet.
Fuel.
Fuel F-U-E-L.
But if you have to
Yes,
cash out like
protocol.
euros,
So is it
you,
like
have
a
to,
phone?
you
Is
need
that-
like
is that
Binance
around-
card or, for example, I use also crypto.com.
It's a shop builder.
So
Crypto.com
you do
It's a
that-
drag and drop style shop builder. where you
credit
can
card.
build the entire shop. But
It's
you
a bit
don't
different
see
than
the
Binance
complex
card because you have to
technical
top
backend
up
anymore,
more crypto
so
before.
that you can just build
before
the shop
using.
and
And it works like with PayPal or with Java Money online. It works like a
I'd
shop.
love to chat with you.
So do you
about
think
maybe
this
another day.
fiat conversion,
Because
do you think this is,
I mean, we're super early.
do you think
Like,
it's something
yeah,
that
investment
this will be
in,
solved
like,
within 12
February.
months?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
by now we have like some of the biggest artists.
Like
Well,
the
yeah,
apps,
yeah,
like the
yeah.
I mean, the problem is
right now we don't even have
when
to
you step
reach out
out,
to them
you
anymore.
go to
They
the
won't come
supermarket
to
or
us.
stop up
Yeah,
in
yeah.
the shop.
No,
The
because you
problem
bought
is
because
that
I
you have to pay with the fiat, so
electronic
it's
music, right?
it's here the
Like 4
problem.
years ago, that's what I was doing.
So
I
you
worked
can tell to
with
them
music.
you accept Bitcoin.
So, like,
Maybe
I'm
they can.
more than like I was.
But I mean, so for example, in Europe, okay, then you go to Lithuania or something, you get a banking license, and you can get a full banking license. It costs you maybe 250,000 euros.
That's in Estonia.
Or Estonia or whatever, or you go to Bulgaria, it doesn't even matter. Then you have a European banking license, and you can accept or you can trade with cash. You don't even need a full banking license, you just need a payment license.
Essentially,
Yeah,
So I'm thinking, if more, you need just maybe 50 more startups doing that, right? And finding like Big Vala or whatever.
Well, I think we are already on kind of.
get all the benefits of
I think personally we are already on a
With
new era of
only with the
fintech.
Web2
I think the
interface.
first era of fintech was
I-
about the user
The thing is
experience.
that everyone only
It was all
discusses
about the
the
user
very
experience. For example, we're talking about
for like a
M26
large target group,
and
but not for the
Nightclub.
builders.
So I was on
Yeah,
the
Like, nobody discussed that at all.
First
We always just say
customers.
like make it
So
so that
I
you
get to
can
them
pay
some
everywhere
feedback, so I
from
went
people
to
that are
the
already into
first
crypto,
events.
like provide services that you can
So
like
when
purchase
talking
at any store with
to
crypto.
them, so
But we
if
don't
you check
talk
out the
about
website
like,
of
the
Panda,
people
there is
and the brands
still
that
my
actually want to build crypto but
like
don't
my
have the knowledge
statements
to do so.
when I was
Like there are a few outliers like
But I mean,
explain
like Nike
it's
and
good to
Adidas
have
and
that.
the NBA. and
Talking
so
behind
on.
the scene with
You
them, it
manage
was
to do it,
all
but
about
that
the
doesn't
user
mean that
experience.
others are willing to.
So I talking with a guy
step
that built
and,
the
like, acquire the
overall
knowledge
front
and
end.
know
And
what
so it's all about the
work
user
with
experience. So in
and
hand,
that's
they're using
based
API
on
traditional
the
bank.
Yeah, yeah.
So
No, of course. I mean, like
So if we think
the
about
people that are
fintech,
actually creating
new
first to
fintech,
do stuff. I mean,
it's different because
So,
you
like,
become already the bank. It's like you get
with
the license
our
and say.
startup,
And then you try to
things
launch
like
some
a chicken
services
and
on the
egg
market.
situation, right? So we've got.
So I think
we've got a problem.
that's
Okay.
the right
So
timing
the next
if
thing
you
is
want to
like
do a
the
startup in the
we're
fintech
gonna
industry.
find a dev.
And then for sure you can get the license,
But,
you
like,
can exchange the money because
Say
there's
we've
not
got
much regulations.
and we're approaching the
So I think
situation
you
in
can
terms of
you
we'll
can
have
do
like
that
a,
easily,
you
and
know,
then you can try to
community-
launch your brand.
You
So
go to Malta and get the license there. I think
I've been in
Binance
this-
is in Malta, I think, officially.
Yeah, but
things right.
I had some experience with that, so the more convenient one is in
Estonia.
Estonia in terms of money. Because Malta, they have grants for that, but it could be quite expensive to get the license. I think it's 100 and compared to Estonia, it's like 15 key.
But the big
The only
thing is,
trouble that
okay,
you can
right,
have
we
is
need
about
users,
paying like
okay, and like
for services like Audi.
it's a chicken and the egg situation. Because when
I
you're
mean,
like building
it's-
anything that's a culture
Today it's
app,
easy to do.
where like essentially it's-
Okay,
it's
so if
basically
you want to
like
do a
people create
fintech
events,
company with
they
the
public or
blockchain,
private, they invite
you can
people
get the
to come,
license,
I wanna
you
go
can
for a beer
trade
here, or like you
the
go to
coin,
some
so you
music
can
events,
give
beach
your
show,
hot wallet, so
whatever.
you become a bank. It's like no.
How do you convince people that
It's
are
almost possible. So
already
I think
using Instagram?
it's a good time.
for this purpose?
That's my opinion in general.
To go on the app, and how do you
Because
how do you
we had already
incentivize
the
people
user
that
experience,
want to find out about
big
things to
change
do
of
to go on the app,
fintech,
You know,
so
there's no
I-
events on there.
Everyone was
I mean,
N26. Why N26?
how we
Got
solved
tons
it
of
is to
traction.
work with the biggest
For the onboarding
majors
system,
that
I
want
like
to
this.
have a solution that is as easy as possible.
It was
for them.
like,
But
Well,
they
same
bring
for us.
Get to
and
the
they
card,
bring
great.
traffic with them.
Well, we'll just
For example, for a lot of people come
you
here,
know,
but it
of course,
was
so
like,
once you've got the once you've
I
got
think the
from
first bank for them
maybe
because
like-
you
basically what
don't
we're
need
gonna do
like
is we're gonna like
a meldum. I'm not
scrape
sure
all
if
the
you
Yeah,
have
events
that.
off. We'll probably
It's like the
use
registration.
Facebook API
No.
and just get all the
I
events
think
on Facebook,
probably
just put it on
now,
there, so
but
that's done.
No,
100%.
yeah, they got kicked
I'm
in the ass for
100%
that.
And then
sure
we
one
use
of the
our
marketing strategies is
Algorithms
like
basically
you
define
can
those
register
events
without
and
them
things like
matter.
that.
Remedy
People's
still.
feeds. And then you just do a big marketing campaign. We're gonna focus
So I
on
think
those
to
first,
get some
and the cultural campaign.
onboarding of people that come
But,
here and then that the registration.
Yeah, I think this point is like.
So I remember because I
Distribution
come here
is
3
a tweet away.
more
or
10
something,
tweets
right?
ago.
Like, you just have to find the guy who
So I
has
was
the
with
Yeah,
those
yeah.
friends, they don't
onboarding
provide anything. They send the cards right away
Investors,
with an address that
whatever.
would be everything.
and
So
you
they
provide
were
the laundry
like
layer.
not
and you
caring too
provide
much.
the
But it was
bunch
all,
of people that you need.
all about
Yeah,
the user
but it's like for
experience.
those- for the
So
big-
just put your
'cause like-
name, brand, everything.
Working in music,
That you are on,
no
and
one
you're
knows
the
life,
back.
so
Technology.
when
Yeah.
you say lots of my friends are
So you did the UI for N26?
No, I
Right,
just
events, electronic
like
events, things like
been
this.
talk with one of
Oh,
the
okay.
manager
Oh.
because he's
I
Italian.
don't
It
know
was
time at all, right?
time ago.
So what do you do? You're
for
consultant
them
then,
to
or
use a
what do you-
different app.
No,
But
what
no
I,
one
what
using
I do
it.
right now
That's
is like
climb away,
decentralizing a
take
bit or
lots of
e-commerce
money.
marketplace.
When I talk about the artists, I'll do
Essentially, so we launched our own
Promoters, event
token.
promoters, event promoters are event promoters.
So we did the SEO, everything.
Artists
So right now
will
I'm
do what
just
they want, like, artists will be more
Adapting all the
active in shit
processes
like this.
inside
Yes,
application,
artists
the
are
payment
artists, and,
service.
like,
With the blockchain, because I think
that's the
that
artists, the easy
I had too much troubles in general with
artists, you
the
know.
banks.
Surprise.
And then of course in yours,
Yeah,
record
so
labels,
regulations, too
record
much.
labels easy.
I mean, too much papers to do
distribute,
so that's not good for
you know,
innovation.
potentially.
You can build
Um,
something,
But I don't
and
know.
I mean, always trouble. It's like it's impossible because you always
But then
to deal
they need an
with
audience.
papers, and you can
They
build.
need to
The
have-
financial industry is very.
So you can say to them like you do this, and this is just me speaking from experience.
I don't know. There are these structures, and they protect these structures now, right? And I mean, look what they
But
do
yeah,
with
it's just-
N26,
it's
right?
interesting that you
They don't have any
talk
other
about
option right now.
how
Yeah, they're desperate. I mean, look
we
at these
deal
German
with
banks. They're
everything.
tiny. They're
What's
because
the
they're
blockchain
shit,
mean?
right? Deutsche Bank and Commerzbank are. I think N26 is worth more than Commerzbank, right? Which 10 years ago was
The only
unimaginable.
brands that do care
Deutsche Bank is like, it used to be a top 10 bank, they're like
environmental friendly.
top 200
So,
maybe. Yeah.
Usually
But
what
I
we
think
do,
because
we just go with
the way of
here
doing
because
business
it's the most
has changed a
established
lot.
and easiest
So
way
if
to
you
do.
think about
Then we go with
tech
all
startups,
those brands.
so you have investors outside, and they they load a lot of money.
So we just said like,
huge
you can do
amounts.
anything if you want it.
And then you have
But
all these executions.
Most said, yeah, guys, you know it better than we do.
Before
We
that,
know
the banks
people,
were able to
we have two
work
brands,
more
we have
closely
no
with
clue about
companies,
it. You have to
like
tell us
giving them
which we should
loans,
choose.
giving
So,
them time.
That's why you choose it here
Higher
most of the
fees,
time,
for sure.
sometimes Polygon.
For example,
if there will be a
contracts
brand in the
with
future
old
that says, hey,
companies,
I
they
want to
have
be
still
on
like
Elros
fees,
or
etc.
whatever, then
So
Okay.
for some traditional
Well,
banks,
But
it's
like
like
users are paying with the
just traditional and
debit card,
conservative because they can get more
depends if
money.
you have
for it.
crypto, you can just do it with
But
your
when
Let's
you
say
have like
you
But
go
if
credit
you
cards,
don't have
for
anything, you
example,
just pay it with
they are
the
so
credit
large.
cards.
And so
You
what's
put
the
the
difference
money,
between that and
so the bank can
say,
get too
you
much
know,
on the deal.
Ethereum or
So I think everything is just
So
cheap.
you mean from the technical
I think the
side,
first
Yeah,
pressure
yeah,
for them
yeah.
is just to protect what they have.
Yeah, yeah,
just
exactly,
to
exactly.
So
Just avoid
as
that
now
you can go
you
on the
must see
blockchain,
that
etc.
we
But for
are
newcomers,
essentially
like
we just
people
rolled out
that
the first
are
shops
not a
and
big company,
we just like implement
I don't know. I don't know if
these
it has
things
sense
out
to have
because
a
they
bank
weren't
account.
at all in the last 2 months.
So
And
sometimes I
we're
feel
month 3
like
right now, right?
maybe you don't
So
need
we have everything figured out. The first
Because
shops
it-
online basically.
I pay
and the drop
every
down,
month
like, start
the money
cheap.
to the bank to.
And until then, we have to
Mm.
figure out how the bridge exactly works.
I don't know, it's
okay,
like-
yeah, so you're still
So,
working.
Okay, when I just withdraw my money and
But
pay.
that's not very typical. It's not
So if
very
I go abroad
it's
with
not
the currency
complicated,
exchange,
to be
they
honest,
have to
because
pay
it's
a
just
fee
like
on
one
the
part of the
exchange.
equation. There are
of
other
that.
people working on that and
So I
solving
don't
that
know,
as well.
Yeah.
So it's not
It's
like
quite crazy
something
for newcomers.
really
Yeah,
revolutionary
And
or
we have the
anything.
blockchain.
So we just have to
You can
decide
do
what
that.
I was
the
just
best
interested
one
to
is.
see if you'd made
But
a
there are
decision
still a
in
lot
terms
of
what
sense to
technology
do.
you was using.
So that's
Yeah.
I think the point.
Is there
Still
something in the US
that we have, and
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
yeah, I
I
think.
mean, there are many options that we could run
What do you
with.
wanna do?
We will probably
You don't
find
know?
an in-house version
I
of
know.
that because
I have a few partners that
Actually, I want to
use
find a
it.
new
there's some
job,
videos
but
and
I don't want a job.
Yeah, there's a bunch of
I want a
research.
job.
I mean, we will probably run
I
with
always
a
was
pre-made
about
thing first,
finding
and then
something
just
new. I
build
was a
it
game
ourselves,
designer.
because in the
I
end,
had
we'll
my
have,
video
like,
marketing
full-fledged
agency.
tech backend that
I
is
was
just
a
completely
DJ.
our own small contracts and stuff.
So
But
now,
as of now,
last
it's
3
not
years, I
just
was
scale
coaching psychology stuff, and I honestly like super tired of people. I went back to know people industry, and
Yeah, it just
Gaming.
sounds
and yeah, gaming. Actually, I think I'm thinking about gaming more. And when I started to read what